He'd do mostly sandwich in Pennsylvania, and he would wait till he got a buyer and then go back to the seller. So his appointments were fairly easy, if you will.
Chris, maybe you can talk about Don, God bless his soul, is no longer with us, but that was like his entire MO.
Yeah. Well, I sort of did a 10,000 foot earlier, but Don would take, it doesn't matter, frankly, if it was a sandwich, an AO, or an owner financing. I don't think he did any AOs. He'd do mostly sandwich in Pennsylvania, and he would wait till he got a buyer and then go back to the seller. So his appointments were fairly easy, if you will, because he basically, unless the seller was nuts with their pricing, he would go at what the seller said on the numbers, bring it to market, come back with a buyer in hand, and always renegotiate.
Yeah. So you guys can absolutely do that. Get the best deal possible that you can get. And then as you built rapport, then you go back, right? I mean, Don was also really good at building rapport and people trusted him. So it wasn't like they thought that he was trying to be, sketchy in any fashion. He told them, like, this is what's going on and this is how we got to handle it.
He actually would also do what Mike does. He would tell them, I may be coming back to, I'm going to try it on every deal. If it was contingent upon a buyer, which I think Don made all his contingent upon a buyer. He was super conservative.
Yep. Yeah, he was the engineer. So if there's any engineers out there, there's some really good opportunities here, just like Rick. Is Rick
engineer brain?
Yeah, engineer brain is what we'll call him. Awesome. All right, let's Mike, let's just walk through one of your lease purchase deals, just because we've spent a lot of time on sub 2, owner finance, and now AO. I want everyone just to at least get a 10,000 foot view on a lease purchase deal, so that way we could push forward.
And more so because the exit's the same, as I said to you guys this morning, but more so in case you have nuances that Mike, how we talk to them, how we structure the beginning of it.
This thing is fired up today. This has been quick transitions. We got a tech team over here. All right, so this is a lease purchase deal. Mike, tell us about the seller and why they were selling.
Yeah, this was an expired deal. It was a vacant property of theirs, and they couldn't sell it just because of, I think it was more so the design of the house. It just wasn't very appealing. Nothing wrong with it. Just they weren't able to get the price they wanted, and I was there to kind of swoop in and tell them that I can get them what they want if they just gave me the terms I was looking for.
Oh, remember, a lease purchase deal, everyone, we're not closing on it. We're just controlling it with a lease purchase agreement and then clouding the title with an option, and then going to find a tenant buyer. So this is just a different structure. So if you ever have a seller that's like, I don't want to give up title, right? Or if they have any pushback there, this is a good option. They say, all right, well, let's just structure it this way. I'll go ahead and take full responsibilities of everything. We'll agree upon the price or an equity. We'll agree upon the monthly payment. I'll handle everything and I'll cash out in a certain period of time. Awesome. Okay. Term on this deal was?
48 months.
Okay. And do you remember the debt?
Yeah, the debt was, I have my deal structure, so I'm going off of that. It's 405 was a debt.
Okay. And the equity?
They had 50,000 equity.
All right, you sold it for how much?
I sold it for $489,900.
Mike, is this one already cashed out and gone?
This one cashed out.
Okay.
Love it.
Perfect.
So it's full circle, right?
Full deal. This is full deal, guys.
The whole deal. This isn't projections. This is an actual close.
Right.
You stick around with us long enough, deals cash out. Yeah, these things actually do work.
Yep.
Okay, so the non-refundable deposit from the buyer was how much?
We got $24,495.
Plus first month's rent, or?
Plus first month's rent.
Which was?
$29.95.
What do
You
you
gotta
have to
explain that, Zach. Let's explain that. Mike, can you explain how and why we do the first month and it's pure cash, and just so they understand that, because that came about, I don't know, probably a year before you started with us. We started that.
Yeah. I mean, well, because mortgage payments are paid in arrear, or excuse me, they're paid.
No, you said it right.
All right, in arrears. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's been a long week for me. I was paid in arrears. So we kind of used the same concept, and we built that into our agreement. So we don't pay our first payment to the seller until 30 days after occupancy, and we require our buyers to pay their first month's rent at the time of move-in. So we actually keep that profit center. And I don't know, what is that? What do we call that? A payday? Is that even a payday, or is it just an additional profit?
Yeah, it's in payday one. It's pure cash. It doesn't go against anything. And guys, you think about it. I won't even take credit for it. One of our buddies, the guy that I told you shut his doors during COVID, gave me that idea once. Said, "Hey, try this," and he gave me that idea. But think about that now. In the entire community, every time a lease purchase is done, and very few times they don't get it. Very few times they sell a box. And so every time a lease purchase is done, we pick up that extra month. That's a lot of money generated from that one little idea that we tweaked.
Oh yeah.
Well, a lot of people say they want to do a deal a month. The average monthly payment, let's say, is $2,000. That's $24,000 extra a year that you make.
You're welcome.
Nice bonus. Nice little bonus. Anybody want to go hang out with Dan on the beach? Just made $24,000. You can have a nice little vacation with Dan.
Get a foot of sand.
Yeah, get a foot of sand. Love it. Okay, what's the monthly payment to the seller?
I'll switch my picture and show you my boat in the Bahamas.
Oh, nice. There we go. We'll be joining him soon. Nice vacation.
All right.
Monthly payment is how much, Mike?
Monthly payment is $26.98.
Okay, so we got cash flow of how much per month?
$297.
How long did this deal go?
It went for 36 months, and I'll tell you why I gave them extra time real quick before we jump. They were excellent buyers. They paid on time every month. I had a contract for them in 24, so we still went through the same process and with the same guidelines as we're supposed to. But I was getting great spread payday 2 on it. I was getting a great principal pay down every month, and they were on time every month, never a late payment in that time frame. So they asked for extra time, and I had extra time, had tons of equity in the property at that point, and so I honored that and gave that to them. Maybe should have charged them a little more for it, but I was in it so good, I was like, just keep it flowing, right? I didn't want to mess it up. So I gave them an extra year on top of their 24 months. So that's why I cashed out in 36.
Yeah, but you had the time, right? That's the whole strategy, right?
I had 48 months. So if they didn't cash out in 36, I still had a year to sell it conventionally. If I needed to, I would have made even probably more money, right? So I was in a great position.
100%. That's why strategically, you exit, or you find the exit based upon how you buy it. Like right. Mike only had 36 months. Was he in the position to do it? Probably not. He probably only could have said, look, I can't make this happen. I got to get on the market, or I only can do 6 months, or Mike goes back to the seller and says, I need a 6-month extension based upon what I need for the buyers. Then you just go back and forth until you figure it out the deal. Awesome. And remember, if you guys are an associate, we help you through every single aspect. We help you through the life of every deal. So let's say you're like with us for immersion for 24 months and you have a deal that lasts 5 years, you still call us and we say, all right, well, let's pivot here. Let's how we do this. It's always the life of the deal to work through it with you guys. So know that we're here, because as you've heard on all these deals, there's always a deal after the deal, or there's things that you have to navigate and maneuver, especially at the closing table. Like right before these deals are going to cash out, especially on these sandwich leases, it's like, okay, how do we look at the HUD? We didn't even talk about those, like looking at the HUD and pulling money out of the HUD. I mean, we usually pull out a couple $1,000s every time we look at a new closing doc or new HUD. So help you properly get closed.
Let me say why, Zach. Most of your attorneys, even some of the ones that we use now that are newer to the system, they don't know that. They don't understand how to work the conventional settlement statement, whereby Mike's cashing his payday 3 out. And usually when someone buys a house, they prorate taxes, utilities, oil, they prorate all that stuff till the closing date. That's not the case here, because the buyer's in the house. The buyer's responsible for all that. So as the investor, you usually pick up extra money. And I know that's not crystal clear, but just know that there's found money on every payday 3. There's another found money. So every bank sends the payoff in on a payday 3. The attorney or the title company sends the bank the payoff, right? Well, they always round up per diem in case it's a day or two late, and they wouldn't screw the whole deal up. So there's always a little refund, and it can range from $50 to $2,000. We've gotten maybe up as high as $3,000. So Mike doesn't own this house. At the payday 3, he sent with the payoff an escrow letter instructing any escrow overage to go to him, not the seller, the owner of record. Again, found money. Over the years, these things have stung us, so we set systems up to capture those dollars. So the payday 1 extra month in the HUD money, in the escrow statement money, right there is several $1,000s per deal that will help you with.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And like, so I mean, these are things that happen on a week-to-week basis, just in coaching, in our associate levels. But we sit there and whiteboard this stuff on the what do you call it too? Like at the boot camp. I mean, we went from speaking with a seller with Kevin, who's I think he's here today. Helped negotiate the deal on the phone. Then we whiteboarded it. I don't know if he ended up getting the offers out or where we're at with that deal, but then we whiteboarded how to send out the offer all within those 2 days. So if you haven't, we'll talk about that particular event. And the reason why we are is because I'm so excited about it. I mean, the light bulbs continue to go off when you're in the room with 20 people. So we'll talk more about that. But if you haven't already put your application for that, if you're outside the community, it's $2,500. If you're inside the community, then it's free.
I told, I know Dave's on here. I told Dave and some others, Zach, I think yesterday, I think there's about 11 seats gone. There's like 9-ish seats left.
Perfect. All right, Mike, let's finish up this deal. So,
Yeah, another side note on this deal, they were putting additional down on top of their monthly payment every month, whether it be 500 or 1,000. They're putting additional money down. So I'm like, of course, I'm going to give them that extra time, right? They've been such excellent tenant buyers, and they went above and beyond to get to that 10% down on time, right? So
love it.
we did end up getting 10% down. I don't know where you want to put that.
Well, let's say I have to pay 3 on the back end.
Okay. Okay.
Just because I'll just do additional deposits.
That's good, because someone, Kenneth asked, and I answered in the Q&A that's up to Mike. If he liked the buyer, he liked the qualifications, and his gut feel was he could have just stayed at 5, but now I hear that you got the 10 anyway over time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
297 times 36 months is how much cash flow?
That total cash flow is principal, or no, monthly cash flow, 10,692.
Okay, so we rose the price by, was that like 35,000?
Yes.
Okay, principal pay down every month?
Principal pay down, I have the total.
Okay.
19,800.
So if you guys want to divide that by
36.
months,
It was 550.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, they had this house for a while, so it was well within the first few years of interest, heavy interest.
I would keep them in the house too. You're netting like between the pay down and.
So think about it, guys. It's 300 cash
300
flow.
bucks.
Yeah, 300 cash. It's like $850 a month. Why would I not give them an extra 12 months, right? It's almost that's an extra 10 grand, right? So
well, yeah, go ahead, Zach. I got something to say.
We already collected so let's say, all right, how many additional deposits did you get? I'll throw it up here.
they got up to 10%. So the total deposits, payday 1 deposits was 48,990
So it's another
Without counting first month?
without accounting first month.
So yeah, basically another 24,000 down.
Yeah, 24,495.
All right, did you in your spreadsheet, did you have the 48,000 down here? To subtract,
Let me see. I'm looking. Let's see.
We can do it though on the fly.
Maybe we can do it on the fly. Yeah, that's fine.
So you got 35,000 plus 19,800 minus 48. Because the reason I'm bringing this up is because it'd be negative when you cash out, I believe.
No, hang on. It's 34.9 plus 19.8
minus 48.
minus 48.
48,495.
Payday
Wanna make
3
sure
was
that-
about 57.10, about 5,710. Just because I got a lot of it up front, right?
Yeah, no, that doesn't suck.
Zach, let me point something out here again, because it's not as obvious as we say it, I think. So you see Zach credited back the 48, technically 48,495. He did not credit back the 2,995 because that was the extra first month, the pure cash in Mike's pocket, because that was their lease payment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just rounding numbers here, just so you guys know.
So if you just did the principal pay down and the markup, it's 54.7. And if you subtract the down, which is 48,990, it gives you the balance.
So it's like 65,000, 64,710.
Ish.
No, it's let's see, we got I have $74,097. So that's with the payday one, or with the first month's rent.
All right, let's do this again. 48,000 plus you got cash flow of 10,000, right? Or
10,692. Yep.
Plus you made 5710 on the back end.
Yep. You're missing. Hang on. What are we missing here?
Now you tell me.
All right. I'll just add up the profit without taking out the down because it's so we'll do markup.
Why don't we say this, guys? It's between 67 grand and 74 grand.
34.9. Principal pay down 19.8. Plus
Mike's checkbook was between 67 and 74 grand better. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, plus 2,995.
Either way, it didn't suck. Important
Yes.
components to this though, right, guys? This is active income. I'm not an accountant, but know that that's active income. So you're gonna get taxed a lot heavier on that than you are on owner financing or subject to deals.
Well, let's say this too to get everybody thinking. Mike did not have to report income on payday 1 or 2, not 1 penny. You don't report money on, he did at the end. You don't report money to the IRS, you're not required to, till it's exercised or defaults. Now, can you report the money if you want earlier? Yeah, the IRS never gets pissed if you report it earlier, but you're not required till it exercises the option, the buyer, or it defaults. Think about that for a second, guys. 48,495 plus 29.95 plus 10,000 not reported till the year he cashed it out. Free use of that cash over 50 grand till he gets cashed out. Just get your brain thinking again.
Yeah, just make sure you have a conversation with your CPA because you also don't want 10 of these to cash out in 1 year and you not saved a single penny for taxes.
Yeah, so some years we did 50%. Other years, if we weren't ever going to a bank for a loan personally, any one of the partners, we didn't worry about it. So you got to do this with your CPA.
Yeah. Look at it as a long-term strategy because I don't want you to come back on this call and say X, Y, and Z, and I got to hit this giant tax bill. That's not on us. You got to have a conversation with your CPA on all of these transactions. And if
Dr. Clark.
If you don't use Paul Dion, you can certainly do that too, as he knows and understands all of our deals.
Chris,
could type
just
in
to understand that, so you could wait till you have some passive income to help offset that, is what you're saying. So let's say 3 years from when he got that first, call it 24,000. Then he's got some, a couple sub twos under his belt where he can basically use some of that other income to offset this more active. Is that right?
Well, yeah, he'll have depreciation too by then if he does some sub twos, which would be huge for someone like Mike now because he can get tax write-offs. Yeah, can someone type in the chat PaulDionCPA.com? Paul Dion, Dion, CPA.com. He knows the chart of accounts, the books, everything, and how this has to happen for the paydays. I will tell you, it's been done in the community the wrong way. And then they go, oh, shoot, I got to go back and go to Paul Dion. And Rick was one of them. You do more than one deal even, and you try to get through a tax year, you're going to make a mess and your CPA's head's going to be spinning. So make sure you go to someone that knows how this works. And Paul knows after 2 decades with me.